What's up, guys? Dynasty Football Live, back at you. My name is Byron. As always, this is my co-host, Manny. Today, we're going to be bringing you our favorite episode probably that we're going to be doing on our rankings division here, and it's 2023 wide receiver rankings. Boy, I'm through the roof on this one. This is my position. This is where me and Manny played together in high school. We kind of built a brotherhood up there, and we've been best friends ever since. So, with that being said, I'm gonna give it over here to Manny. What you got, bud?
Nah, this is our the position that we love, the position we play, that probably the position that we know the most about, just because of the experience there. Yeah, I'm very excited to get ready to draft our guys, and obviously my team in Dynasty has a lot of these young wide receivers based on what happened last year's rookie draft. So very excited to see where they land. So let's get started. Who do you got?
Let's go. All right, man. Number one here. And there ain't nobody over this dude. Jay Jettis. Give me Justin Jefferson. Record setter at the position. There's no one over the top. So Jay Jettis here for me.
Okay. For me, elite is kind of 1A, 1B, even though I think Jefferson is a little bit higher. I got to go with Chase here.
Absolutely. All right. This was a really tough one for me because there was a lot of talent on the board. I'm thinking this guy's still elite. He's still going to be who we thought he was. Give me Tyreek Hill here. Speed, and we'll get you a ton of points.
Yeah. You got a lot of targets last year, targets.
Yeah.
So along with that speed, very exciting potential there. I'm going to go with a guy who kind of not broke out, but, got a little angry and just had an amazing year, and that's A.J. Brown. I think he showed his value. And even though the Titans got a first round, maybe a little bit more on that trade for him, or to get rid of him rather, so they don't have to pay him. I think they ended up losing the trade just because of how elite and good he played last year. So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I like the pick here. I think he deserves to be there for sure. Next guy I got, we're going with a veteran here who has not pretty much ever stopped in his career as far as production goes. Could possibly be number 3. That's about as high as I would go, especially considering his age. Give me Devontae Adams here.
Devontae Adams. Yeah, that's a good selection there.
Yes, sir. Devontae.
Very consistent. I think he showed, obviously, that it wasn't Raul Rodgers. He showed that he can play very well, regardless of quarterback. So, yeah, good pick there. I think for me, next has to be a guy who he sort of was in Thielen's shadow for a while with the Vikings, and I owned him at the time, and it was very, very frustrating. He kept feeding Thielen the ball when I knew Diggs was, in my opinion, better than Thielen, and he finally got out of there and kind of got a fresh start, and definitely became one of the elite wide receivers in the league. And even though he's a little bit older, I think he still has a lot left in the tank. Yeah, that's my guy there.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, Diggs is money. So especially being Todd Allen, I like that pick. Another guy, changed the position, wide receiver / running back. I'm going Deebo Samuel right here, for sure. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Never put Deebo back down there. Give me Cooper Kupp. Sorry about that. I'm going to go with another veteran here. I can't put Deebo over Cooper Kupp, especially what he did a couple years ago. So I'm taking Cooper Kupp here. Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb here. I think he hasn't had the resume that some of these other guys do, but I think last year he sort of answered a lot of questions with Cooper being traded and he becoming the number 1 receiver. He definitely had a great season. And I think it was just scratching the surface. Going to have a great season next year and beyond. So for me, CeeDee Lamb is definitely elite.
Oh, I love it. So now I'm going to go Debo. I'm going to definitely put him up there with the elite receivers just of what he does there for the 49ers. He plays running back and wide receiver. So not that high, but we.
I didn't mean to. I was like, I lost him there for a second.
Not that high. No, we like Debo here, and I definitely think he's a game changer. He's definitely elite.
Okay. I don't know if I have. Let me double check here. I don't think I have anyone else in the elite category.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of borderlines, so I'm going to start with A's if that's okay.
No, yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, cool. I have Waddle here. I think, even though he has Tyreek on the team, and I know there are, some people were concerned about maybe targets going down because of Tyreek being there and all that, and the offense and how it's going to look under a new coach and all that stuff. I think he answered a lot of questions. He is extremely fast and take it to the house anytime, just like Tyreek. And I think, if they're able to, improve the run game next year, that's only going to make the pass game even better. So for me, Waddle here, best stance in the league. I love the Waddle. And he's on my team, so I'm a little biased, but Waddle here for me.
Absolutely. Like Waddle, man. We got to do the duck, baby. You got to do it. The duck, the Waddle, man. I don't know what you call it, but anyways, it's a cool dance, and it's probably the most, my favorite touchdown dance in the NFL.
Oh, definitely for me too.
Next one. Got to go with the sun god here. Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love this guy. What can you say? Dude came in and killed it last year. I like him a lot. Everyone slept on him because of his size. And dude's a warrior, man. He just gets out there and makes any quarterback shine because he can find the open windows in the defense. So like Amon-Ra here.
Yeah, definitely overlooked. Size, speed, whatever. He's definitely quicker than fast, but he proved that he was definitely underrated and drafted way, way, way too low coming out of college, rather. So great pick here. I think for me, the guy who's next is someone who showed a lot last year. I think if Aaron Rodgers' trade goes through, if he can do what he did last year with Zach Wilson, Flacco, and White.
Yeah.
Although I mean, Flacco is not the same as he was, when he was winning those Super Bowls, but he definitely played really well last year. And Wilson was trash, and White actually was not bad. But if he can do that with those quarterbacks, I can't even imagine what he's going to do with Rodgers if that trade ever goes through. Yeah. And hopefully it's a good trade since I'm a Packers fan, even though I'm wearing a Tennessee shirt here. But go Pack, go. I wish they weren't trading Rodgers, but I think this guy is going to be a huge beneficiary of that trade right away. So,
well, winning the Rookie of the Year with those quarterbacks alone for me is like, wow, man. The sky's the limit for this guy. He could definitely be in the S's next year if he gets Rodgers. So, moving on to the next one. Starting to get into, man, I'm going to go with a guy I really, really like, and I don't see anybody even close to being where this guy is as far as size. He reminds me a lot of Calvin Johnson. I'm going to take DK Metcalf right here. Still kicking myself for not drafting him a few years ago, man. I really, really want him bad. You have him. Won't give them to me, but hopefully I end up with somebody that you like so I can get that guy off your hands. But anyways, DK Metcalf, super, super, super freak. I mean, the dude's a freak, man. The size and speed combo is unmatched. So, DK Metcalf.
All right. I was not a DK believer. I'm sorry to say. I feel like I'm going to be judged based on that opinion. But I just thought, based on how big he was and how muscular, all I could think about was David Boston who just could barely move because he got so big at the wide receiver position. And I think to be a wide receiver, you can't be as stiff, although he's not stiff, even though he's like a bodybuilder. So I was definitely proven wrong on that one. But I'm glad I have him now, and make me your best offer. Even though you tried, I don't.
Hold him tight, baby.
I guess we haven't gotten there yet since he's still on my team. But I think for me next has to be a guy who was kind of overlooked because of who's on the team with him. And I think if he wasn't in any other team, which he might be, when his rookie year contract is up. And I think that's T. Higgins. He has a lot of, even though Chase is there and getting a lot of targets, T. Higgins, I mean, he is dominant. He has the size, the speed, very, very good big catch potential there. And even though Chase is there with Burrow quarterback, the talent is undeniable. So for me, Higgins for sure.
Oh, I like it. I love T. Higgins. Clemson guy. Can't miss, man. Moving on here, I'm going to go with the other Ohio State receiver that came out last year and balled out with the Saints. I'm going Chris Olave here. I absolutely like this guy. I think he is going to be a superstar in this league, and he put the league on notice last year with Little at quarterback. So now that Carr's in there, hopefully that even, further expresses why you should go get this guy. So I'm definitely, he's finally got a decent quarterback, not great, but decent quarterback there in Carr. So I'll take Chris Olave here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go with a guy. I guess I keep picking kind of like the partner in crime, but I'm going to go with a guy who plays for the Eagles, Devontae Smith. I think only having AJ Brown there helps him. I don't think it's one of those situations where, he's kind of like the Diggs comment I made earlier, like, with being with the Vikings and Thielen getting the ball. I think AJ Brown being there as the number one only opens up things for him, and Hurts just like spreading the ball out. So I think the size was definitely a concern for a lot of people. Just like you can be too big, you can be too small, which he is, but not height, but definitely weight. I think he played an amazing. He kind of proved all the doubters wrong, and I think the style of play of the NFL now with the rules favoring the offense for sure. No Ray Lewis going to take his head off. So I think he proved that the size doesn't really matter in today's NFL, even though DK is, a freak. Anyways, Devontae Smith here.
Like that, man. Like that a lot. Yeah, moving on to my pick. I am going to – man, give me Calvin Ridley right here, man. He's going to sneak up a little bit higher on this list just because I know what he can do. He was a upper echelon wide receiver before the gambling incident there in Atlanta. Being tied to Trevor Lawrence in that offense, I mean, this dude, man, he could come out and have a huge season. Gosh, what he did before he got in trouble was pretty nice, and I liked what I saw. So I'm high on Calvin Ridley, so I'm going to take him.
No, absolutely. That's a good pick here. And obviously, there's some concern there coming, having a year off, but I think at the same time, he's extremely motivated to just ball out next year. So definitely belongs here. For me, the guy who's next hasn't quite shown us, fully what he can be, but just based on his potential, the size, the offense that he's could be in, I think I'm going to go with Drake London. I think, obviously, they were kind of a run-first offense, with Mariota last year. But I think, Mariota's gone. They have Ritter. I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback, but I think it can only get better.
Mm-hmm.
And by no means did London have a bad year. I think he had an amazing rookie year. He's paired up with Pitts, who is also a physical freak. Who knows if they draft another quarterback or another wide receiver? They definitely could, but I think London is just alone in volume and his size and speed combination and his youth. I think put him in this category here.
Awesome. Yeah, love Drake London, man. He's a baller. Definitely gonna make Ritter shine there next year, I think. For me, next, it's a guy who doesn't really have a quarterback, but a guy who hasn't ever not had 1,000 yard receiving season in his NFL career. I'm gonna put Mike Evans up here. I feel like Baker Mayfield could still get this guy his TDs and his yards. So they also have Kyle Trask. Who knows who's going to be quarterback? They could actually move up. Anything can happen in the draft, dude. You don't know which team is going to move up. So for me, I got to take my boy Mike Evans here.
No, that's a great point too. I mean, not a lot happens in the draft normal, or that was kind of the trend going on, but the last maybe 2-3 years, it's been crazy with trades and all that stuff, especially last year with the AJ Brown thing going on and other things. But yeah, that's a great pick here. I'm actually gonna go with someone who got a new home and was part of one of those trades that it wasn't obviously during the draft, but it will affect the draft. I'm gonna go with DJ Moore, the new number 1 receiver for the Chicago Bears. Here he is. I couldn't find him. I mean, we know what he can do. He's definitely one of the elite wide receivers in this league. Even last year, even not last year, last 3 years, didn't really have a quarterback. That position was ridiculously, performing really, really bad for the Panthers. And now they have, now he has a new start with Justin Fields. Obviously, they have other guys there, but Mooney's coming, back from an injury, which didn't look too good. We have Claypool there, who, showed us, he kind of had a breakout season. They took a step back or two. So we'll see what he does with a full year of, in the offseason for the Bears, since he got traded in the middle of the season last year. But I think DJ Moore is definitely one of these guys that belongs in this tier as well.
Cannot argue with you there, man. I like DJ Moore. Unfortunately, he never got a quarterback situation going there in Carolina. So next guy. Here we go. I'm taking Scary Terry McLaurin here. Really another guy who doesn't have a quarterback as of now. Washington is in a prime spot where they could move up into the top 10 and draft a Will Levis or maybe even an Anthony Richardson, is depending on how high they want to go and what they want to pay. Right now, Sam Howell is that guy. And then they did bring in Jacoby Brissett, who didn't have a bad year with the Browns at all when he was asked to play in lieu of Watson. But for me, I like Scary Terry right here for sure.
Nice. Scary Terry. Sorry, I'm having some trouble locating him.
He's right there. There he goes. You found him. No, I mean, I would definitely say he's a B receiver for sure.
A B, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I'm sorry. A for sure. Sorry. Well, he'll be the last of our A's. Yeah. Let's move on to the B's now.
Sounds good. The B's. I'm gonna go with a guy who, it's kind of a trend. I think there's a lot of teams that have really, really good young wide receivers, or even just wide receivers in general, not necessarily young, but good wide receivers that are lacking in the best or the most important position in the NFL, which is quarterback. And this guy hasn't had a quarterback. The Colts tried to, experiment with Wentz, and then they tried Matt Ryan. Now it looks like they're finally going to get him a young quarterback they can develop, unless they move up in the draft. So Pittman, for me, he's kind of I was a Pittman believer. Unfortunately, he's not on my team anymore, but I drafted him and I had to trade him away to kind of help rebuild. But I think Pittman last year had a great year, even his rookie year, even though it wasn't, rookie of the year, caliber, it was still, pretty good. And then he definitely took a next step last year. So he's definitely number 1 receiver in the NFL. And I think, once he has a little more consistency at quarterback, he can only get better.
Awesome. And you're going to keep him there in the A's, right?
I didn't mean that.
I was like, all right, cool. But anyways, yeah, next guy off the board, man, it's tough, you know. I don't want to. I don't want to do this, but I have to. I'm sorry. I know this is gonna hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna take George Pickens here. I have to. Just on sheer talent alone and his catch radius and the crazy catches I seen this guy make last year. He's actually on my dynasty team. I was very happy to get him. Unbelievable athlete, long arms, can block, any wide receiver 10, 20 yards down the field. Love George Pickens. I think that he deserves to be here. I'd like to see his touchdowns get up. He had to grow along with that offense. They're very young over there with Pickett, Najee, Deontay Johnson, and Freiermuth. That whole offense is like super young but uber talented, and I love everything they're doing over there in Pittsburgh. They know how to pick them for sure. George Pickens here from me.
Okay, great. I have for me next is Godwin. I think he obviously, had a really tough injury, not last year, but the year before last. He was having an amazing season the year he got injured. And then this year, or last year rather, came back and kind of later of the year. And he showed that he was fully back. I think now having a whole year being healthy and off-season training and all that stuff, he can only get better. I mean, I think he's one of the elite wide receivers in the league before the injury. It's just a matter of how he bounces back now that he has a whole year of health, as well as what happens at quarterback. Just the same thing with with Mike Evans. It kind of remains to be seen, even though they're good wide receivers. A lot of questions at quarterback. So we'll see what happens, but I think he belongs in the B's.
All right. I forgot about this dude, and I think we're all sleeping on him and what he can actually do in the NFL. I want to put this guy in the A's. I want to put him right behind McLaurin in the A's, solely on what we know he can do and how long he's done it. Last year he was suspended for 6 games, came back and still put up crazy numbers. Give me DeAndre Hopkins. Put him up there in the A's. We all know that he deserves to be there. And if he goes to a new team, this could very well be an S receiver, in my opinion. But who's to know where he's going at this point? He does want to be released or traded. So Hopkins here for me.
Okay. No, that's definitely a good point. Definitely still has it, even though he's up there in age. Definitely help a team win for sure, in Dynasty and in the NFL for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Next for me, I'm going to go with a guy. And I feel like kind of so far I've only picked – well, I've picked 2 of my guys that I actually have on my team. But I'm going to go with a third one. I'm going to go with Christian Watson. I think obviously, had to kind of stumbled out of the blocks last year at his rookie year. But once he got going, I mean, what could have been if he hadn't dropped that pass in the first game of the season? But anyways, regardless of that, he eventually found his way, and he had a ridiculous run there. I think he had 9 touchdowns in 6 games, or 6 touchdowns in 3. Some ridiculous. I don't even remember what it was, but I just know I won a lot of games I did not want to win because of Watson, just because I'm in a rebuild. I was trying to get a better pick, but I definitely liked what I saw with him, and the limited time that he had with Love, especially in the Eagles game with that long 60-something yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Once he gets the ball in his hands, he's probably one of the fastest players in the league. I know Tyreek Hill kind of claims that, but I think you can see it when you watch film. He just runs away from people, even though he doesn't look that fast because he has such long strides. He just runs away from people. So for me, hopefully, him, Love, and Aaron Jones and Dobbs kind of practicing, working together in the offseason to kind of, assuming that Aaron Rodgers trade goes off at some point. I think building that chemistry in the offseason with Love is going to be huge, and hopefully that little glimpse, what we saw in the Eagles game, only kind of grows and develops into a good, situation and good chemistry and a dynamic performer. So for me, he belongs in the B's, and hopefully he doesn't take any steps back.
Yeah. I like Watson here. I think it's a comfortable spot for him to be, especially with Lazard gone now. I feel like he's solely the number one there, and he will only go up from here. So him and Dubs are going to be a nice little duo there for you guys in the future. I like that combo a lot.
Maybe we move up and get JSN too. We'll just
maybe hopes and dreams, but maybe. Yeah, next I got a guy that once again, if you know, they're a little bit up there in age, but the guys they just produce. And you want these guys on your team next year, especially in your lineup. And I don't think there's anyone else I can put over this guy on this list at this point. Give me. I'm gonna go with Mike Williams here, man. I know that he can't stay on the field. I know all the stuff about him, and it's terrible that he can't. But if he does, let's revert back to the year before last, what he did. I mean, absolutely dangerous, man. Dude's big, strong. Got Herbie throwing him the ball.
yeah.
A tied to a great. I like it. I like it. Give me Mike Williams here.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna have to go with another one of my guys, and unfortunately, he's not on here. So I'm gonna have to use someone else. I'm gonna go ahead and use Robert Woods here in this person's place. And for me, I think Jameson Williams, just purely on the fact that he's young, what he did at Alabama, he was obviously one of the top wide receivers. I mean, to be honest, if he hadn't torn his ACL in the last game that he played at Alabama, I mean, he could have been the number one receiver taken. I think he was kind of definitely trending in that direction. Unfortunately, the injury derailed his rookie year. And I just think that he is so dynamic. And just what we saw, we saw kind of glimpses when they eventually kind of let him go, because they definitely took a cautious approach with him. But I think what we saw last year just got me really excited, and I know I owe him, so maybe I am a little biased, and maybe some people might think he's a little too high, but I think what we saw last year, limited, and what we saw at Alabama, I mean, he's elite. So hopefully he can live up to to my expectations. But that's what I have here, Jameson Williams.
Yeah, Jameson's man takes the top off the defense. Did it in his first game, so. What a guy that is, man. I mean, dude, he's just a straight up stud, man. I like Jameson Williams a lot. Next, here we go. I'm going back to the Chargers. I'm taking Keenan Allen. Don't care about the age. Give me the consistency, and I think that this dude is an easy set it forget it guy in your lineup when healthy. You can feel confident that this dude is going to get you 10 or more, 15 or more points a week. I like the comfort shield I get when I set a guy in my lineup like this. I know he's a little bit older, but 2023, this dude could still ball out. So I'm taking Keenan Allen here all day.
No, absolutely. He's one of the best, route runners in the league still. So
Yeah.
great pick here. I think for me next, there's a lot of questions not about this guy specifically, but just about the team and the quarterback situation there. For me, Treylon Burks, purely just, what the glimpses that we got last year, I think he had like a sort of a breakout game against the Packers Thursday Night Football where he had like over 100 yards. And he just really played really well. It's kind of what we expected coming out of Arkansas. Extremely big, fast, and strong. And the only question is, what's going to happen at quarterback? Is it going to be Tannehill, or is it going to be Cut? Is it going to be what's his name?
Who? Oh, you talking about Kyle Phillips?
No, Kyle Phillips. Who's Kyle? No, Kyle. No, the quarterback.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis. If he's going to be a quarterback, or if it's going to be Tannehill, or if they're going to draft a quarterback, we don't know what they're going to do. I think that's the question. But I mean, he has no one to compete for targets there. Kyle Phillips, like you mentioned, he's there, but he kind of got hurt last year, and we were expecting big things, and he didn't really quite pan out. Maybe he'll have a bounce back year, but Burks is basically the lone man. at the top for the Titans, and hopefully just based on potential, youth, and being by himself, he's going to get a lot of targets. So for me, Burks belongs in this tier.
Awesome. All right, man. Next dude I got off the board could be a number one anywhere he plays. Anywhere he could go and be a number one, I think. Unfortunately, he's behind Diggs there in Buffalo. Gabe Davis. This guy can absolutely ball, and he's tied to the top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So I'm happy to take Gabe Davis here. I don't care that Diggs is over there. I think he actually makes, both the situations there better. So he showed you what he could do last year, man. The dude can have some games, and at this point, I like Gabe Davis here a lot.
All right. Yeah, good pick. And I'm not afraid of, we've had a lot of those picks already where, you get the second guy in an elite wide receiver room, and nothing wrong with Gabe Davis. I think him being with Diggs, actually helps him, and obviously being tied to a quarterback like Allen is, elite. That's why he belongs in this tier as well.
Very thick guy, dude. He's a big receiver. I like those guys. So.
Yeah. Let's see. For me next, I'm gonna go with. I think this guy could be. Again, this is purely based on what could be, and I think this guy has shown glimpses of it. He just has to stay healthy. Obviously, last year, even if he had been healthy, Russell Wilson played like trash. So now with Peyton there. Kind of a new leader of the offense. Maybe he can fix whatever was wrong with Russell. Maybe Judy can stay healthy, and he can go off. He can have his true breakout year. So yeah, I like Judy here. Hopefully he can stay healthy and really prove me right that he belongs in this tier.
Yeah. Man, Jerry Judy. I thought he was going to be so much better than he has been. It's not a knock on his talent, but man, he's got to be on the field. So I like Judy here, though. I think it's a great spot for him. Next off the board, I got to go with a guy who kind of had a breakout year last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. On the other side, they got Ridley. Now they're going to have Christian Kirk coming back. Give me Christian Kirk, man. Field stretcher. Love what he does there with T-Law, and he showed he can ball, being the number one guy last year. Hopefully he still gets them targets with Ridley coming in, but I like Christian Kirk.
Okay. For me, next has to be Brandon Ayuk. I think obviously Debo is sort of the star of that offense, along with McCaffrey, obviously. But I think Ayuk is a great complementary piece to Samuels and what he does. He's kind of all over the place, interchangeable with even McCaffrey, So I think Ayuk definitely showed us something last year. He keeps kind of taking that next step in his game, and hopefully he can continue to improve. And, there's a rumor the Jets are obviously the rumor is the Jets are trading for Aaron Rodgers with the Packers, but unfortunately that seems to be holed up with compensation. Apparently the 49ers are very interested in Rodgers. I don't know if that'll happen, but if it does, I mean, Debo and Ayuk are going to be ridiculous next year. So
absolutely,
and McCaffrey too, and Kittle, the whole offense is going to be elite.
Loaded. I really like that, man. Yeah, that's a great pick, man. Ayuk, man, he anywhere else, like we're saying on these guys right here, they could go and be number ones anywhere.
And even if Rodgers doesn't go there, still belongs in this tier for sure.
Absolutely. All right, next guy I got, he kind of reminds me of Brandon Cooks, man. They just keep moving this guy. He just keeps producing. Now he's tied to Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. Another guy that I like that's a veteran that will, plug and play and you can feel pretty confident is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper can come in and still ball. He's still the number one guy there. I love the offense there in Cleveland. I think an offseason with Watson will help these guys gel and get to where they want to be there in Cleveland. So give me Amari Cooper here.
Okay. For me, I'm actually not going to draft. Not draft. That's not a draft. But I'm not going to select one of my own guys in this tier. I'm actually going to pick one of your guys, which is Jahan Dotson. I think coming out of college, I need to kind of change my mindset when it comes to size and of the receivers. I think, you look at a receiver like Dotson or even, Devontae Smith is different. He won the Heisman. So, I mean, that's completely different. But Dotson, had a ridiculous career, a good career at Penn State. He made some amazing catches, really, really great hands. And with the moment, basically almost game one, he was showing why he was drafted as high as he was. And just like McLaurin, he's, consistent quarterback away from just taking that next step. I really like him here, and he's young and he's fast and definitely elite. He showed a lot last year, so I like him here in this tier.
All right, I like that too. I'm gonna put the last, I think, of the B's up there, and solely on this guy's draft capital, and he is actually the number 2 going to a new team. Just got traded from the Jets. I like Elijah Moore right here behind Dotson. I think they're pretty similar as talent goes. I think 1A, 1B here goes in the B's for the last of them. These guys are super similar. Elijah Moore was a very highly touted prospect coming out of Ole Miss. Did not get the respect he deserved there with the Jets. I don't know if it was because of Garrett Wilson taking over or what, but they just did not throw it to him. Like, I don't know why. The dude was like, there were several reports of him coming out, making Twitter saying, throw me the ball. That just never happened. So finally he got mad, fed up with the Jets, and he wanted out. And I think this is a great landing spot for him. I think he comes in there with Cleveland. Amari's there, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think this could be a good fit for him. And I think he balls out next year. So give me Elijah Moore.
No, that's a great pick. And I think to your point, he's ready. Like, he's been ready to get the ball. I think he's finally going to get the ball. Hopefully Watson, get some of that rust off. I think he kind of started at the end of the year. What Elijah Moore did in college, I mean, there's a reason why he was picked as high as he did. It just didn't work out. But I think he's on a warpath to really prove people wrong that he is who we thought he was. So let's see if that happens with the Browns.
All right. Hey, for the C's, we're going to go ahead and start rapid picking here, I think. Pretty much all of our talent that we feel like is going to make a gigantic impact in the league next year is off the board. So why don't we just go ahead and let these guys know for the C and D quickly who we think, deserves to be in these spots. Who you got here first in the C's?
Okay. This guy could be a B. He's sort of borderline for me. We'll go ahead and put him in the C's. This is Deontay Johnson for the Steelers. I think obviously Pickens resurged, or Pickens being drafted there, and what he brought, he's like more of a, I guess, size wise, more of the prototypical wide receiver. But Deontay Johnson is very, very good, very fast. I like him here.
Like that. I'm gonna back that up with Brandon Cooks. I know he's got a new home there with the Cowboys, and I think it's a great home. I think he continues the 1,000-yard seasons, takes off heat from CeeDee Lamb, and balls out there with the Cowboys. Give me Brandon Cooks here, Mr. 1,000-yard consistency wherever he goes. So
nice. I'm gonna go with a guy the opposite of consistent, but I think his potential is there. It's just a matter of him staying on the field as well as the offense and who's going to be the quarterback. I think for me, Bateman has a lot of talent. He kind of showed a little bit what he's capable of. Definitely can be a deep threat. Unfortunately, what's happening with him is obviously the Ravens are a run first offense. Lamar Jackson now, the questions are whether he's going to be playing for the Ravens or not. I think there's a lot of questions at that position, but he is the number 1 there. And I think regardless of who's quarterback, well, maybe not regardless, because if it's Lamar, it might not be a lot of targets. They might all go to the tight end position. But I think, as the number 1, you have to take him here. And I'm sorry, I rambled.
Nah, hey, we're spitting these out. Next one I got here. Let me go Tyler Lockett, man. Tyler Lockett, you know, when he when he has them weeks, man, man, your team is hard to beat. So Tyler Lockett here as the number 2 there in Seattle, on the other side of DK, I like a lot. He can still ball. I like. We both got the same hair lines, you know. Me and old Tyler, man, we're brothers, so we got it. Who you got next, man?
All right, I got Cortland Sutton. I think he could be a number 1 receiver still in this league. I think Judy and him are kind of 1A, 1B. The question here is, can he stay on the field, and can Russell Wilson be not last year Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Russell's the X factor there, man. So we hope he bounces back to the old days, man, because we all miss Russell Wilson. I liked him back in the day with Seattle.
Yeah.
So for me, Sky Moore here, tied to one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Got to take him here. Got to make sure that he gets an opportunity there. You know, Tony's there. They may bring in Odell. Who knows? If that's the case, then this is Odell Beckham Jr. So we'll put this Sky Moore / Odell here. So I'm happy with this spot either way. So that's my pick there.
Okay. Do you mind if I use Thornton?
No, yeah. I don't think okay. I don't even think Thornton's should be on this list. So whoever you think,
I agree completely, especially being in New England. Like he may have a good season, but I mean, you never know who's going to be the guy there. So I'm going to use Thornton as another Chief, Kadarius Toney. I think after the trade, it's kind of funny how after obviously the Jets traded Elijah Moore this offseason. The Giants traded Toney in the middle of the season. We saw very, very, very instant impact from Toney, whether it was in the return game, whether it was in gadget plays. I think he takes the next step. And I think obviously having Patrick Mahomes, just like Sky Moore, I think that only makes him better. Yeah. So I like Toney here. We'll see what happens if they draft a receiver or, Odell Beckham goes there or whatever. But I think I like Toney here.
All right. Next up off the board for me is going to be Mac Jones, new number 1 target, TikTok star, Mr. Dance on Your Logo. I don't know why he does that because, man, he gets in so much trouble. So, anyways, give me Juju Smith-Schuster here. I like him. He balled out for the Chiefs last year. Ultimately, it was one of the big reasons they won the Super Bowl. So, I'll take Juju here.
Okay. I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but I think obviously being what I guess is the clear-cut number 1 receiver for this team, and having a relationship with Murray, I think Hollywood Brown needs to be in this tier. I just think he's so inconsistent with his hands sometimes, but definitely a deep threat and one of those game changers that you can be, put in fantasy and then all of a sudden, he has a 90-yard touchdown. Like, that kind of game changer. It's just a matter of being more consistent. But
awesome. Yeah, I think that's it for the C's. Let's get down to the D's here, which is solely on where we think they're going in their situation at this point. Give me Jacoby Myers right off the bat here with the Raiders. I think he's covered up there with Devontae Adams and Renfro, but hopefully he gets the same opportunities he used to in New England. He's a great receiver, can make catches, just needs to get his touchdown volume up a little bit for me. So Jacoby Myers.
Very underrated. I think Renfro had a down year last year. I don't know if he'll bounce back, but Waller being gone now, I think Myers definitely could have a bigger role than maybe most people think.
Yeah.
Right now, number 1 receiver, even though he kind of got sort of benched or didn't play a lot. I don't know what was going on, but Slayton. I'm going to go with Slayton here.
Okay.
They'll probably draft a receiver. Maybe OBJ will come back. I don't know. That's the rumor. Who knows? But number 1 guy right now. So got to go with him.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like that. Danny Dimes gets him the ball like he did a few years ago. It'll be nasty again. Give me Darnell Mooney here, man. Darnell Mooney's got to come off the board. I know he had a pretty nasty injury. Claypool's there. Got DJ Moore there, but man, Darnell Mooney can do damage, and we all know how fast this dude is. Hopefully, he can come back from that leg injury he suffered at the end of the year last year. So, give me Darnell here.
Okay. I'm gonna get a guy here who is not. I mean, I don't know why. Jefferson's not my pick. Are you gonna pick him at any point?
Nah, he's not. He's not even on this list. To my point, we have to use
Okay.
the emojis that they give us, unfortunately. So, or player icons. So we'll go ahead and take whoever you need here.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Romeo Dubs here.
Okay.
Even though we're playing Jefferson, I think when he was healthy, he looked like, obviously he wasn't like a complete product, a polished receiver, but I think he showed a lot last year. Obviously you have him. Very excited. I'm jealous a little bit, but
could be DK bait. You never know. If you want to come on.
Maybe we'll see what happens there. But I just think he's too talented. I think he was a steal in the draft last year. I think in the fifth round. He definitely played better than that, and I think he takes the next step as a true, well, maybe 1A 1B with Christian Watson. But yeah, hopefully he plays a lot better than, a little more consistent, stays on the field. But yeah, Dubs here for me.
Absolutely, like that a lot. I'm glad you put him on the list. I think he deserves to be there too. For me, man, coming back here, there is a guy, depending on who, I don't know, man. It's tough because I can go several different ways here, but I think this guy is going to be good with the Panthers. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Give me Thielen. I like him in that offense. Hopefully, the new quarterback, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, whoever that may be with the Panthers, tears this dude up. We all know that he's a consistent receiver. He's been in the NFL a long time, solid veteran wide receiver, and I wouldn't be scared to put him in my lineup, especially since I know he's probably one or two there with the Panthers on their depth charts. So, like Adam Thielen.
This is going to be weird, but I'm going to go back-to-back Panthers. I think DJ Chark here is extremely underrated. I think obviously he broke up with the Jacksonville, and then he had some injury issues, and then the Lions, he kind of it was a welcome back party for him, which earned him the contract with the Panthers. I think him and Thielen are a great pairing. They have Marshall there. They have whoever their quarterback's going to be is definitely going to be better than what they had last couple of years. So for me, it's DJ Chark here.
Yeah, I like it. Could have been Marshall. Hopefully that happens. Could have been Marshall, man. Gosh, what could have been? Next off the board, and it's what this guy's done in his career, and it's the last person standing, and I'm not changing it. I'm not going to disrespect, can't guard Mike like that. So give me the last one here, and hopefully Derek Carr revives both their careers and, gets them the ball, man. I'd like to see this guy on the field. We all know what he can do if he can get past that ankle injury. It would be amazing to see him MT back on the field, man. So that's all we got, man. I'm excited about this list, man. I think we did well here. How about you, Manny?
I feel really good about it. I think what you said about Mike Thomas is right on the spot. I think obviously we know what he can do, but he hasn't been on the field for almost 3 years now. So he definitely needs to kind of earn some of that back, to make some plays, stay on the field, and kind of maybe he'll move back up. The only sad thing is I wanted to include a Tennessee receiver, but we didn't get a chance to. But hopefully after the NFL draft and this upcoming year, we'll have some Tennessee guys joining the tier group here. But very excited about the list, and I feel good about it.
I think you could slide Josh Palmer in there if that's who you're going for there.
Right now Josh Palmer, maybe Hyatt, maybe Tillman.
Oh yeah, Which
for sure, Palmer's who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Palmer could definitely be on this list. Still got 2 guys in front of him, though. He's still trying to scratch his way up the depth chart. I think that, considering where we're at with these people, we hit it on the nail. But what I will tell you guys is we do have some up-and-coming rankings after the draft. We're very excited. We're going to be releasing our rookie quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end tier rankings, which I'm ecstatic. They'll have the landing spots. You'll be able to see where we think right off the bat their rookie year they're going to shine. So that being said, you got anything else, Manny, before we sign off here?
Yeah, that too. And also, obviously not just the rankings, but also, a mock draft, an actual Dynasty, rookie draft with the landing spots once the draft occurs. So yeah, a lot of good content coming up. It's a lot easier once we know where they're going. It's kind of like a guessing game, before we know where they're going. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Absolutely. Hey guys, as always, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We always want to hear your comments. We want to hear how we're doing. We love that you're signing up to be on this journey with us. Get in that subscribe, tell all your friends, family, jump on the bandwagon here, man, because when we blow up, you're going to want to be there. And hopefully you blow up, your Dynasty team blows up, we all blow up. I'm fixing to blow up. Here we go, baby. Dynasty football out.